Hello there, my name is Dimitrios Panagios and this is my project presentation for the course of computer graphics. So, for the topic of my exercise, I choose to create a visualizer that will actually represent two, two algorithms through a dynamic representations. This algorithm will be the bubble sort and the selection sort. So here is my program, my code. Let's try to run this. As you can see, a JPanel is being popped up on our screen, and we have three options. We have the option of the bubble sort, this button, and the option of selection sort, and another third option that will give us the randomized data on our screen from the zero. So right now we have the random data, and I choose to press the bubble sort, and as we can see, our data is being sorted on ascending order from the lowest to the highest, and this is the results of my program, like the shapes that are being created, the colors and texts that I will use in this window. After this, if I want to go back, I choose the toggle order. This button actually means let's go from the beginning again and give me random data that if I want to restart the program. And we can use here the selection sort that has a different way of sorting from the highest to the lowest, and uses another method to another algorithm to find which data has to be in which order. So I would like to do a line-to-line presentation of my code, so there are no questions about the project. As we can see here, I declared the package of the Java class that tell us where it would be located in my system. I import the necessary GUI components and libraries of Java in order to use them in my program. And here I create a big public class that is named sorting visualizer, and I'm using the extension of the JFrame in order to have the characteristics of the JFrame in my class, the sorting visualizer. So first of all, we're gonna do the we're gonna generate a special ID for my class to make sure that different versions of my program can work well together. This will help me actually to ensure that the compatibility between the versions of my code. And I'm gonna declare now the variables. I will decide the size of my array. It will be 50, and I will create an array that will be named as array. And here I'm gonna store all my data actually. Later we create a boolean variable that is named ascending. That will help me to track and if I'm sorting in ascending order or then descending order. If it will be descending order, it will be as false here. So after this, I'm gonna make a JPanel, a histogram panel, to display my histogram, as you can see that I displayed before on my screen. And then I will create the buttons, the bubble sort button, the selection button, and the toggle order button. Also, we will need in my program a timer in order to control the speed of the sorting visualization. Here, this line in private and current step will help me to keep track of the current step in the sorting process. And lastly, I'm gonna have a string variable that I will name it as algo to store the current sorting algorithm that I'm using. Okay, so here we have the constructor. This constructor actually will be the starting point of my program. It will get everything ready, but for the sorting visualization to happen when I decide to start it. And here I'm gonna set the things for my sorting visualizer. First, I will create an array with random numbers on it. This array will be like a bunch of boxes where I will put the data for sorting. And here for the algo, I will have this variable, but right now it will be empty. It's like a node where I will keep track of the sorting algorithm that I'm using. I didn't start yet, so right now it's blank. But when I start, for example, when I do the bubble sort, the on the line you will have the value bubble inside. Okay, so we do set a title. So we like the sorting visualizer. We like the name of the whole program, and then I set the default close operation. This actually is like when you click the button X on the screen. It's like say shut down the program like that. For example, here, yes. So after this, I set the size, how big I want the window to be. I have it on 800 pixels and 600 pixels tall. After this, I will set the location relative to null. That means that the window that will appear exact on the center when it's null will be at the center of the screen. And the histogram, I put a new J panel. I assign to the variable of the histogram panel that and I will create a class that is anonymous actually. It will be one-time use class that extends the J panel and includes also additional behaviors. So I do the override and the paint component method of JPanel. This method will be called whenever the panel needs to be drawn to paint it. And after this, we'll have the super paint component, that is the method from the super class. It's like saying first do the regular drawing stuff that the JPanel does. And then I have the draw histogram G. After the regular stuff, I'm calling my own method draw histogram to draw the histogram of the panel. And here I'm adding the customized histogram panel to my main window, placing it in the center using the word border layout. And this means that put my histogram display in the middle of the window. Okay, so here I will create the J button, the new button, as the label will be bubble sort as we can see here, and it will be the assigning to the variable bubble sort button. I'm also doing the same for the. I'm also oh no, this is important. Here I'm putting an action listener. This action listener is like saying listen up. When I click you, you have to do something special. When I click, for example, this does do to do the sort of the for the algorithm of bubble sort. Okay, so here it starts sorting. This method named start sorting and passing argument. It's like when it starts sourcing the process using the algorithm of the bubble. And I'm setting up the algo variable to bubble. This will keep track of the current sorting algorithm, as I said before. Here the algo. This is the users. Okay, so right now I would like to, on these lines, to create a button for the selection sort algorithm. And when we click it, I initiate the sorting process with selection sort algorithm and update also the algo selection into selection right now. So actually, basically, this is the same thing with the other. Okay, yeah. So here we have the toggle order button. I will create this button for to toggle the order, and when someone clicks it, I will execute the method of the toggle order. I also will put the action listener here as before, and it will do something when I click the button. That means. So here, after I will create a new JPanel button, it will be like a section where I can organize my and place my buttons. Actually, I will after this button panel dot add, I will add the bubble sort button to and all the others button, the selection sort and the toggle order button. And finally, I will here I will add the entire button panel to my main window, and I actually is like placing it at the bottom south of the window using the border layout at this south. It's like saying it attach the panel with the buttons at the bottom of the window. Hmm. Okay, so we have now to create a timer that will trigger the step sort method every 50 milliseconds, as you can see here. This will be a new timer named will trigger the action repeatedly and with a delay of 50 milliseconds between each trigger, and the public void action performed. Actually, this will, inside the timer will be like over the overridden method that will say when you tick a timer when you tick do the following, for example. Yeah. So you have the step sort. This like this method is like saying take one step in the process, in the sorting process. The current the second step will be 0 to start the process from the beginning. And here this method will create and return an array of random integers. The size of the array is determined by the size of the parameter, and the values are random between 0 and 99. So I will define here the method called generator a random array, and that returns an array of integers. It takes the parameter size indicating how many elements the array should have. And I'm creating a new array named R here with a size specified by the size of the parameter. Very well. The random now. Here I will. This is an object actually. It will help me to generate the random numbers of the array. And after this, I will have a loop that will run the size times. Will fill the array with random numbers after many loops, and stepping +1 ++ I ++. And here at the return, I'm closing the loop and return the generate array. So after this, I have to define a method named drawHistogram that will take a graphic object as a parameter. This method will be responsible for the drawing of the histogram on the graphical component. And I'm getting the width and the height of the histogram panel where the histogram will be painted, will be drawn. So here this is the calculation of the height of the bar depending the array value. And I will start a loop that will go through each element in the array. And inside the loop, as we can see, is the calculation of the current bar based on the value of the element in the array. And the multiply height is the divided by 100. Scales the bar height to fit within the available height of the panel. And after this, I calculate the x and the psi coordinates from the top left corner of the color bar. And we have the G set color. I'm setting the color to black actually, and draw the black border around the rectangles, and create the visual appearance of the bar. Okay, so here is the method of start sorting. It takes the parameter algorithm indicating which algorithm to start. And here inside the if, I'm checking if the timer is not currently running. If the timer is not running, it means that the sorting process is not active, and that we can initiate. So the current step will be 0. We are starting the process now, that means. And as the timer starts, this is what triggers the sorting animation. The action performed, the method of the timer will be called repeatedly. And each call will correspond to a step in the sorting process. After this, I'm disabling the bubble sort and the selection sort buttons. This will prevent the user from touching again the buttons. And let me see if algorithm equals. Here I'm enabling a button corresponding to the selected sorting algorithm. If the algorithm is bubble, I enable the bubble sort button. If it is selecting to the select sorting algorithm, if the algorithm is bubble, I will have to enable the bubble sort button. If it is a selection, I enable the selection sort button. Okay, here on this will be a helper method to swap elements in the array. The swap. And the method that is named step sort will check if this method will represent one step of the sorting process. And we do the checking if there are steps remaining in the sorting process. Then we have to, if the current step is less than the length of the array, there are more steps to perform. So here we have the switch to algo. This is like switching statement to determine which sorting algorithm I'm gonna perform based on the value of the algo variable. And the case bubble, I will call the performance bubble sort method. This is like saying a performance step of the bubble sort algorithm. And if the algo is selection, I call the perform selection sort method. This actually is like me saying, for example, if the perform one step of the selection sort algorithm, then we do the break. And the case selection, if the sorting algorithm, I'm using the selection sort to do the following here. So we move to the next step on the sorting process. I trigger the repaint to update the visualization. And else this part is could respond to the initial if condition checking. If there are still steps to perform, you continue. We have the timer stop here on this case. And we stop the timer. This will halt the sorting animation. And I'm enabling the bubble sort button. This will allow the user to start another sorting process using the bubble sort algorithm. And also I'm enabling the selection sort algorithm. So after this, we defined the toggle order method. This method is responsible actually for the changing of the sorting order, either from ascending to descending or from descending to ascending. This line is like toggling the value of the ascending variable. If it was true, it becomes false, and if it was false, it becomes true. It's like switching between the sorting of these orders. Now here I'm gonna generate random array of the same size. This step is like very necessary because it will generate a new array that we want the changes to be reflected in the display histogram. And then we will define another method, perform bubble sort. On this method contains the logic to perform one step of the bubble sort algorithm. And I will check if the sort order is ascending here, if ascending. And I will start loop the loop. In this loop, it will be over the elements in the array starting from the element next to the current step. This is because in each step, the bubble sort we actually compare the the adjust the adjacent elements, adjacent elements. So inside this loop, I will check if the element at index is smaller than the element at the current step. And if it's true, then I will call the swap method to swap the elements, these elements. Similar to the setting one, I'm starting to loop to iterate over the elements. And if array is bigger than the array of the if the array here is bigger than the array of the current step, then it's getting if it's true, I swap the method to swap these elements. And after this, I call one method to perform one step of the selection sort algorithm. It will find the index of the minimum element in the remain unsorted portion of the array, and it will swap with the elements at the current step. The sorting order here is either ascending or descending. Is considered during the comparison between the that I do in the loops. So here I will define I will define the main. This will be the entry point of my Java program. It's like the starting point from the execution to run the program. And about the swing utilities, these methods will ensure that the GUI tasks are executed on the event dispatch. Swing components should be accessed and modified only on the event dispatch thread to ensure that the safety in the GUI application. So the sorting visualizer app, this will create an instance of this class of the sorting visualizer, and it will construct the mainframe of the sorting visualization of the application. And last, this will set the visibility of the application window, making it visible to the user. That's all.